Hi everyone, Kathie here. I have a new project and it is for the March 2017 paper pumpkin kit. We're going to be using the canvas bags from the kit and we're going to make these cute stuffed bunnies. A quick few shots of all the bunnies that I've made, but I'm going to be making the blue one today. Here's a treat bag from the kit and also a half sheet of bounce. Rip that in half and then rip it again in quarters. And this is going to be for the feet. Bunch up the first one. Not too tightly, but bunch it up, and then you're going to stuff that in one corner of the bag, and then we're going to tie that down. And what I'm using is some white twine that I received. It's Stampin' Up! White twine. It's a bit thick, and I did take it apart to create 3 strands. And when you tie down this leg, don't tie it too tight, but tight enough because it will break if you pull a little bit hard. Tie a knot and then snip off the excess. And then once you're done that, you'll do the same thing again on the other side. I did make a couple of other bunnies, which I'm going to you did see, and 2 of them I stuffed the tummy with paper towel, and then 2 of them I stuffed with rice. So this one here I'm going to create the bunny with rice. So now that the feet are done, I'm just kind of trying to pull up gently the excess if I can, and then shape it and kind of create a little cup. And that way you get it ready to stuff. So half sheet of paper towel and a quarter. That's what I used for the tummy. And I'm not going to, again, do the one with the paper towel. Do this one with a paper towel. I'm just showing you with it stuffed. So about that size, and then just tie it down. So we're just going to pull out the rice, and it's a small handful. So you can gauge if you need more or less. Okay, and then we're just going to tie that down. And then again, you're going to pull up gently any excess that you can. And also you want to smooth out the front piece of that because that's going to be the face. And I'm just tying it a little bit more tighter because there was a few grains of rice were still coming out. See how it's nice and smooth on the front? And that's what you want because you don't want it all creasy and stuff, right? Because then it'll be a little hard to put the face on and it won't look as nice. And for the next quarter piece of paper towel, just bunch it up into like a football or egg shape and just try to stuff it in there as best you can. And again, you want that front part to be smooth for the face. I did try this without sewing that top part. It just kind of came apart. It didn't look good. It's hit and miss in a way. So I decided that, see how the curve of that's how you want the profile of the face. Okay, so back to the sewing. Yeah, just sew it. I know it's like, who wants to sew, right? Yeah, I thought about it too, but I decided sewing was the way to go. I did hunt down the cheesy sewing kit that we have, and it's not even mine, it's my husband's in his single days. And yeah, that's just one less thing to worry about with that center seam coming apart on you when you squish the bunny ears together and tie it down. A lot of fussing. Just kind of fuss as much as you can, and then once you're happy, then just tie it down. And you don't want your twine too thick. I think that's about 3 strands there. And I tied it in a knot, or sorry, I tied it in a bow just in case. And kind of twist the ears a little bit just to, get it the way you like it. There's the profile again. The twine that came in the kit, I separated those again, about 3 strands. And showing you how unfun it is to take it apart. But I managed to get it apart, and then we'll just thread it through a needle. And I did do it with a knot on the end, and then I removed the excess. But hindsight, I think you could have done it without the knot, because while you were sewing it, you could have hidden it. And there's a few ways of doing this, but this is the way I did it. Just putting down that nose, and when you do the nose, don't do it too low. You want it kind of smack in the middle, a little bit highish, because if it's too low, it'll look kind of strange. And then we'll just separate one of them, and then we'll just tie it in a knot. I just did it twice. And you do need a really good pair of scissors so you can get really close without leaving any fray pieces. There's that profile again. And then we're going to do the eyes next. And actually the pink, I'm pretty sure the bunny nose, I believe, had 2 strands, and then the blue one has 3 strands. So you could get away with 2 and 2. Just kind of gauging where I want the eye to be. And really, when I looked at my bunnies, you can just put a few stitches in. You don't have to do it as many times as I did. Honestly, I think I was getting carried away. I'm just trying to cover up that knot when I pull on the twine there, just to get it on the right spot to cover it up. I basically put the last stitch at the bottom, and then I would tie my knot. I'm sure there's probably a better way of doing this, but this is what I came out with, and this is the extent of my knowledge of sewing. I think that if you had some really teeny tiny buttons, it would actually work. I thought about stickers, but I figured no, it'll probably come off for sure. So the best way to go is to sew it. Using a marker, it's just not as prominent, and over time it will fade. A button or just doing it this way, I think is the best way. And you could do it several different ways. You could mark it somehow, take the head apart, and then sew it so that everything is at the back, like the knots and all that. Of course, I thought of that afterwards. And if I did think of it originally, I think I would have tried that. This step here, I didn't tie a knot at the end of the thread there. And I'm just doing that because I thought the one side is a little bit too small. So I'm just going to fill that in and see how I didn't tie the knot. And when you're sewing, you can just kind of sew over top of that piece there, and it'll cover it up. And we're just going to remove that thread behind the neck there, and we're going to put a bow around his neck. And that ribbon, it's a Dapper Denim. It's a pretty easy ribbon to work with. And then this little piece here looks about 1.5 inches. We're going to do a straight stitch, just in and out, in and out. And what we're going to do is create a little rosette. I guess that's what it's called. Just pull it once you get to the end there, and then it bunches up together into like a little flower. And then once you're happy with that, just put a couple stitches around on the one end where it comes apart, and that way it keeps it together. And then we'll just anchor it right on the head of the bunny. So a few more stitches around the flower, and then a couple of knots to secure the flower. Now for the top of the ear, I was quite happy with that. I didn't have to take it apart or anything, so I did tie it in a knot and then just remove the excess. Onto the bunny tail, I pulled out the blue little pom-pom from the kit and sew on a few stitches around the pom-pom just so that the pom-pom doesn't come off the back end there. I think it turned out super cute. There's the pink one in the Sweet Sugar Plum that I made earlier as a mock. And note the head is a little bit bigger. I somehow was able to stuff it more, so you could make the head a little bit bigger while you are making your own. Here are a few more stills of the other bunnies, and I also threw bows on the top of their ears on a couple of them too. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more alternate projects. Bye for now.